have been watching this live. It's a dude that he's a fan of the channel, of this channel, and he actually made a couple of really good like songs that he posted on the Facebook group, and which I'll put the Facebook group down here if you guys want to check him out. But his channel is called the Joe Wentz Project, and he was on here like just talking and doing a regular live, and now
around that Texas town, but the sack outside the game. You know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you wanna go to the home out on the range. They got a lot of nice girls. Have mercy. Well, here is fine if you got the time and the time to get yourself in. And night here is tight almost every night, but now I might be mistaken. Have mercy.
All right. Oh, yeah. Man, let's get started with the show. Thank y'all for being here so much. And we're going to talk about this Tank G. Talk about this right here. I'm going to get to the comments in just a second. Let me just show people what I'm using right here. And let me get the... That's what we're going to talk about right here. Crazy, man. It sounds really... It sounds really good. I was very impressed. So, you know the drill. Let me cut this off here. We'll put this up and we'll get to the chat. Yeah, man. All right. Hang this up real quick. Bigger room, man. Need something bigger, don't I? Right here, just don't cut it, man. Good enough. Good enough to... All right. Okay. Let's get ready to swap these cameras around. And, yeah, I got nervous when I was coming in here to get ready, man. It was, I couldn't get this camera to work. I just had to reboot it. Okay, let me make sure I got my applause ready here so we can welcome people into the show. And we're going to go over some more of this effects processor. So I just got to hit the got to get the chat first. First up, ladies and gentlemen, very first in line is Mr. Dave Orkin. Hey man, how are you doing? Thank you for being here. There's Brother Edwin. What's going on, man? How are you? Thank you for being here, man. Thank you. I like this right here. That's all. That's right. Everybody's welcome. That's right, man. My man Slick Rick, man. All right. Major Trucking. I hope you're not on the road just yet, man. I hope you're still at the house doing your reset. Dave Orkin says, wow, you can definitely hear that pedal. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was very shocked with it. And again, we're going to get into it some more here. And Dave was kind enough to let me in on it, really. And he was kind enough to, he reached out to me and said, hey, man, have you seen this on, you know, and I've seen the Tank G on social media, you know, my YouTube feed was coming up. And I was like, man, I don't know. And Dave sent me a message. He goes, man, you need to look into this. So, CC, pick up that guitar and talk to me. What's up, CC? How are you? Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody. We're still getting the comments here. Let's see. As soon as I can get this thing to work somehow or another. All right, let's see. Hey, there's Rod. What's up, Rod? See there, man? I took your suggestion on the song, Heavy Metal. And a lot of fun with that song. I've never messed with that song before. And so, yeah, it was... I actually had to look it up on YouTube on certain parts on how to play it. There I go, popping my knuckles again. Sorry. Playing guitar for so many years, it just, man, my knuckles always have to be adjusted. That pedal screams, Dave says. Yeah, it's I'm very happy with it. And that it's rechargeable and all that blows my mind. Blows my mind. And Edwin says, yo, let's see, jamming and screaming. Thanks, man. Yeah. CC. There he is. Yeah. He's taking a break from Poison and he's joining in here, man. That's awesome. And let's see. Martin. Hey, Martin. How you doing, man? How you doing? Thank you for being here, Martin. Oops, let me show you a comment. He says, I tune in to practice a little or take a lesson to improve my technique, and now I'm going to spend the evening listening to Joe live. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in, man. I really appreciate everybody being here. Yes, CC said, I bet it's the purple pedal. Yes, it is. Absolutely. And yes, that's what it is. And what I was thinking of doing, because I was wanting to use a second camera on top of the pedal and be able to go back and forth, but I just can't do that by myself. And I don't have any room to put a camera down there. I don't know if you can even see it with this angle. Nah, you can't. It's not in the frame. But I did make a video, and I'm going to share a screen in a minute and kind of give you a closer look at the pedal and kind of talk about it. It's just like any other effects pedal. It's got all kind of built-in. It's got, I think, 36 presets. There's like 9 banks or something. I don't know. We'll look at it here in a minute. And Ron says, "There you go." Oh yeah, the heavy metal. Yeah, man, that's a fun song. Michael Curtis, what is going on, my friend? How are you doing? He says, "Hey y'all, my internet is kind of wonky right now, so I might just come in a little bit later." I understand. I totally get it, man. Imagine hosting a show on your internet. Remember that last week when the internet just went? It just went completely out for I guess I don't know, like 30 seconds, and everything just shut down, and people were like, "What the heck is going on?" And yeah, man, it was. Can't do nothing about certain technical issues, man. You just have to roll with the punches, man. Thank you, Edwin. Appreciate that. Brother Andy Dion in the chat, man. Hey, Andy, how are you, man? Let's see. We're trying to get down here. Everybody's saying hello to everybody else, which that's awesome. Thank y'all for being here. Mr. Frank is in there. Hey, Mr. Frank. He says, "Hey, Joe, the Schecter looks and sounds awesome." Thank you, man. Yeah, it I tell you what, I did an upgrade to it last night. I'll talk about that here in just 1 second. Yeah, I did an upgrade to it, man. Edwin says he loves that song. And CC, he says, "Nice, something different." Georgia peaches are sweeter. Yeah, I bet so. Yeah, man, that's awesome. Yeah, let me get down here. I had to. Let's see. Let me go back up and let me see here. Hang on. Don't just bear with me for a second. We got some more. This thing acts so weird. This cursor. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. We got Greasy Monkey Guitars is here. Hey, man. Thank you for being here. Blue Moss. Hey, man. How are you? Thank you. What is going on? Kush Man in the house. Hey, Kush. And Kush always takes time to comment on the second channel too, man, even if it's just something. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Andy Dion, he has a question. He says, "How are you liking that Schecter? I've got the same one and I love it." Dude, I love it. I love that guitar. That was and I didn't know that it was considered a Sun Valley shredder. I want to say, is that the same company that was that made like Steve Lukather's guitars back in the day when he was doing those Hot Licks videos. I want to say he had somebody from Sun Valley custom make his guitars. I don't know if that's the same. I could be getting that wrong, but if it is, whew, they know what they're doing. Yeah, man. And, hey, Blue Monks, what's up, man? Yeah, I love it, man. I love the guitar. It is absolutely amazing. It feels good, and it plays good. The neck slim on it. 136 solo. What's up, my friend? How are you? Thank you for being here, man. And we got my brother from another mother, Ralph the German Butcher, is in the house. What's up, man? Thank you for being here. Y'all check out the German Butcher's channel. He's got a new video out, man. He's jamming on some Striper, and it sounds incredible. It sounds absolutely incredible. Let's see here. I'm getting down here. Let's see. Anybody's talking to everybody else? Let's see here. Okay. I think I got caught up here. So here we go. Let's see. Greasy Monkey says, have you heard about the new Steel Panther pedal? The only one I'm familiar with is the 1987 pedal, if that's the one you're talking about. If that's what you're referring to, yes, I've heard about that pedal. It looks really cool. Really cool. But anyway, we were jamming with this the Tank G. All right, and I got this from Amazon. You can get on Amazon and just type in Tank G guitar effects processor, or probably just Tank G. It's by a company called Playwell, and it's great, man. It's wonderful. It's got built-in effects. You can. I'm going to share a screen right now, and I'm going to show. That way you can get a closer look at it and see the knobs and all. And I've got little units like this already that I bought like a couple of years ago, but they weren't like this. They just weren't as clear. You know what I mean? The sounds just wasn't really clear, and this is really pristine. To me, this is on the same level as my Line 6 Pod Express. I mean, it's on that same level, and they're making effects processors now that are so affordable. It's incredible. And for $79, man, you can't beat it. So let me go to the share screen here. And I'm going to do this. So this is going to take me just a second here. And let me go back up here so I can add it to the scene. There we go. And we're going to spotlight it. And I'm going to make this bigger, so full screen. So you can, just before I play the video, you can see it comes with the colored plastic, the knobs, you can put on top of the metal buttons. And it's pretty cool. I still have the plastic. You can look in the middle. I haven't taken the plastic off because I wanted to try it out and see if I liked it before I did that. And of course, I'm sold on it. And also, you're going to see people ask me when I'm running through. I'm going to show that on this video clip as well. And if we have to show this a couple of times, I will. But just keep in mind, to the right of the pedal. So we're going to pretend that this pedal is the amp. All right, so there are certain pedals you want to have in front of your amp, and there are certain pedals you want after. So you can see the flanger to the right, and I have a wah pedal to the right, and then some more pedals on the bottom row of that pedal board are also pedals that would be in front of the Playwell unit. And then the time-based effects will go after the Playwell. So we'll see. You'll see that here, but let me hit play. Hear a dang motorcycle going past the house. My goodness. Seems like every Saturday night they come ripping and roaring down through here. So we're going to play this. And you can see right there, you got the master volume, you got IR cab simulation, you got reverb mix, you got reverb decay, you got your delay time, you got your delay, and you got modulation speed, you got modulation effects, of course your main volume, And you also have a master volume to the left. Now I turn it on right there. You can see it come on. And right now I'm in preset mode, but I made some presets. So if you click those two buttons at the same time, you go to the next patch up, which is patch 8. Then you just choose A, B, C, or D, right? So if you want to go back down, you click these two buttons and you're back down to patch 6, or there we go, 7, 6. Then you can pick which one you want. And of course you can, if you double click the two buttons in the middle, that puts you in live mode and you can adjust all these effects. Now here's the board. Now if you look, you see the tuner and everything on the bottom, that's going after the Playwell unit. And it comes back in, and then on the output side, right there, I'm showing you the bottom row. These are pedals that would be in front of the unit, even though it's sitting after it. And it comes out of that EQ pedal and goes in to the Playwell, and then out of the Playwell, which is right there. Now we're going to go into the time-based effects. This is after the unit. So you got your DD5. That is a delay. That's a stereo chorus, which I'm not using. The mimic. And of course, there's the double tracker right there. So that is also, let me play it one more time.
Starting the day off.
Oops, I'm playing the wrong video. And let me go back. Well, let me go back. Okay, there we go. So you can get another look at it, because you can, man, once you get this thing, I looked at some other videos on YouTube on kind of how to operate it, and it's pretty easy. Like I said, I just don't have a way of doing it live. But for $79, oh, you see that it's got a noise gate at the far right. I got that wide open. And for $79, man, I was really shocked. Now, of course, you got some effects, the presets, they're kind of, that just comes with the territory, right? So we're going to bank up, hit those two buttons, and you pick whichever one you want on that bank. And you can bank back down, hitting those two. Again, if you hit the two in the middle, that puts you in live mode, and that's how you edit everything. And then you can save it. And I like how it has the knobs on the top, how you can dial in what you want. Now, there is an app that you can use to hook to everything and get a more finely tuned, I guess, effects or whatever. I don't like doing all that. I'm a plug and play kind of guy. I don't like to have to mess with an app or get on the computer, and I just don't want to do that. But for what it, I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing that. I just don't want to take the time to do it because I don't have the time. You know, I've got other stuff I could be doing. But yeah, this is great, man. This pedal is incredible. It's a great pedal. Those hardwire pedals are incredible. There's the mimic I always talk about. People ask me, getting that wide sound. There you go. That's it, man. And that's, so there you go. There's my pedal setup that, people always ask me, like, you know, what are you running through? How are you doing that? You know, so there you go. Let's see. Let me look at some of this here. Let me see. Let me look at. It says, Blue Monk says, can you load IRs and heads into that? Yes, you can. And IRs stand for impulse responses. You can choose, there's like, I don't know, there's different ones to choose from. And one of the cool things I do, like when you choose your amps, your IRs on the left of the like over here, your IRs would be over here to the left, and the cabinet selection would be over here to the far right. And they give you a little, the instruction booklet's really small, but it explains to you the different cabs. And you have like a Fender Twin, you got a Marshall, all these other ones. But the one that really sold me was the the EVH 5150, that's in there. And I was like, oh my God, so that's what I'm using on a couple of these. And I've only saved like maybe 4 patches. And because when I find one that I like what I use tonight, that's the 5150 EVH cab using with a certain impulse response. I can't remember which one it is. You just have to, when you do the impulse response, you click it and it just kind of changes the overall sound. Like it can make it a little bit more boomy or treble. But another thing that I like about this unit is when you're playing a setting like this, a lot of overdrive, when you roll your volume knob back on your guitar, it cleans up. Those other little units I had back in there from a few years ago, they wouldn't do that. They look similar to this unit. They look similar to this, but it wasn't as big, but it was a little bit smaller. But when you roll back your volume on the guitar, it was still, it wouldn't clean up. It was still really heavily overdriven. This one does. You roll it back and it cleans up really nice. I was like, dang, it's but yeah, man, you can load that stuff and $79. That's why I had to try it. I said, dude, I'm not missing anything. If I don't like it, I can send it back and get my money back, Edwin Crane says, but can you play Ain't Talking About Love with it? Yeah, of course. Yeah. It has on the modulation, it's got built-in phaser and what's that girl, that guitarist that is it Sophie? Whatever. I saw one of her videos and she was dialing in a Van Halen one tone, but the phaser was going the whole time. And she used the app to dial it in. I don't want to do all that. But I just kick on the phaser if I want to do that. But yeah, but you have to keep in mind, I'm going through, it still sounds incredible on its own. The pedal, you just have to keep in mind, I'm going through my stereo setup. And that enhances it just a little bit, but it still sounds amazing. I was like, dang. Let's see. Blue Monk says, if I recall something about the early ones having an issue with the battery contacting the housing, that's correct. Yeah. And I saw a video where a guy was talking about that. And these new ones, they solved that problem. They put a piece of foam between the battery and the contact, on the circuit board. So they put something there so it wouldn't mess it up. Yeah. No, you're right. You're correct. The early ones did do that. Yeah. Because believe me, I looked at I just kept looking at video after video on YouTube, and you get on YouTube, you can type in Tank G by Playwell, and you'll get a plethora of videos about this unit. And there's videos out there that really take a deep dive on what to do, and I just don't have a way of doing that live. I'm sure you can look at other people that have, and they're great videos. The first video I pulled up on this unit, I was disappointed. I can't remember what the guy's. I ain't here to throw nobody under the bus. But the first video I saw, all the guy did was talk about how to build a tone using your laptop, using the app and doing this and moving these files around. I was like, dude, and all he kept doing was hitting the A string and it was clean. And he's like, well, see, if you do this, that's all he did. I was like, I was literally getting aggravated. I was like, man, can you just play the unit so I can hear what it sounds like? But he never did. He just kept messing around with that. And so I clicked off. And then the second video I went to, the guy was, he really went into detail on how to save the patches and on. And it was good, man. It was good. And that's how I learned. But Blue Monk says, I don't recall the YouTube dude who did an in-depth review of this, and he loaded a bunch of killer amps and cabs into it, now that you're refreshing my memory. Yeah, if you want to take the time to do a deep dive with the Tank G, you can. What I'm doing, I'm just scratching the surface, but that's just me. I like to dial up what sounds good to me and go from there. I wanted to get a great a great overdrive, distorted tone, and then one that was clean with a little bit of chorus on it, not a lot, just so I could go back and forth. That's all I need, and there's a bunch of other things that you can choose, It just depends on what you want to do and how much time you want to put into taking a deeper dive into the unit. I personally love the pedal. I mean, I'm not saying that. I bought it with my money. Nobody sent it to me. Nothing like that. And I love it. And thanks to Mr. Orkin for bringing it to my attention. He says, I love that pedal. Yeah, man. It's fantastic. You can't, you just can't beat it for $79, man. And like I said, if you don't like it, you can always send it back. If you get it through Amazon, Amazon's return policies are incredible. CC, he says that it's a keeper and they go out of stock a lot. There you go. See, the people have spoken. Yeah, that's interesting to know, man. Thank you for saying that, CC. Oh, here we go. Let's see. He says, I'm running my pedal through the input of my Randall RD100H2 amp. Wow. Now, so how are you running that? Now, I think when you sent me that message the other day, you said you tried the effects loop. I'm sure that probably didn't work very well. So I'm sure you're going in front of the amp on a clean channel, I would imagine. I don't know. You tell me, man. That's my guess. I could be totally off. Rod, he says that I just ordered me one to be here Tuesday. Oh, right. There you go. Yeah, man. Oh, and it's that thing's rechargeable. So when it's not even plugged up right now. And you know how I charge mine up? I was using this right here. I was using this power bank. You see, it's got the cord that it came with right here. And I just take this and plug it up to the Tank G, and that's how I was charging it up. And so if you take that thing on a gig or whatever, and you can't find an outlet, I mean, if you have a pedal board like I do, you're going to have some outlets. But if you run out of outlets or you run out of, ways to plug it up, you can do this right here and it'll charge it up. Yes, sir. That's what I did, man. And those power banks run you about, those are the good ones. It runs you about maybe $25-$30 off Amazon. Amazon, man, it comes here about every other day. Amazon gets a lot of my money. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Let's see here. Edwin, but can you play Little Green Men by Steve Hunt? I couldn't. I couldn't. Dave Orkin, he takes his Tank G and puts it in front of the amp clean channel. Yeah, okay. Good deal. That's awesome. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, effects loop was no. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling that wouldn't work. Yeah, I mean it's worth a shot, but something told me that ain't gonna really work. But hey, what do I know, man? Yes. Blue Monks wants to know, is the housing metal? Yes, it is. It's metal. It's very sturdy. There's the only plastic on there is those little knobs they give you, those colored knobs, so you can switch patches easier, which I really like. You don't have to. It's an option. Yes, the thank you for asking these questions, Blue Monks, because I'm not a big time reviewer of stuff. Decent switches, and yes, the switches are good, man. Now when you're going from one tone to another, from one patch to another, there is a slight, you know what I mean, when it going from one to the other, there's a slight little, moment of silence just for a split second, which is no big deal. If you're creative, that won't be a problem. But like when I was playing LaGrange, you get the clean part, but luckily there's kind of a rest before the guitar kicks back in with the distorted guitar, so you have time to hit the other patch. But during a song, if you have to switch pretty fast, you just got to be a little creative and it'll be fine. But there is a slight little hesitation when you go from one to the other, when you're switching from one sound to the other. But I expected that with a $79 effects unit. I've dealt with that before, and so that didn't really shock me. So I'm not complaining. I was like, I can deal with that. It's no big deal, man. But yeah, the switches are very good. I haven't, so far, granted, I've had it for a couple of days now. I haven't had nothing that I've seen so far that was bad. Because if it was, I promise I would tell you. Because if it's bad, I'm not going to use it. I'd be like, I would say, don't order this. It's a piece of garbage. But that's not the case here. This is, to me, it's a win. It really is. I mean, if you don't take my word for it, man. Look at all the other videos out there. And I'm sure those YouTubers had those sent to them, and I would imagine. Because some of them goes, well, I'd like to thank so-and-so for sending this for this review. And I was like, damn, which is cool. Yes, Blue Monk says, yeah, that's killer. Yeah, it's nice, man. I mean, if y'all want, I can plug back up and go through some of the presets. I don't know, I don't know what y'all want. Y'all, like I said, y'all are running the show. I'm just the host. I don't want to sit here and bore people with going through one setting after another. I don't want people to think, oh my God. But if y'all want, I can go through some of the sounds. It doesn't bother me. But I just wish I was able to do another camera so you could see the unit as I'm switching. And I just don't have that ability to do that. That's why I didn't go through any of the sounds too much. Mr. Martin comments. He says, is there a difference between the purple Tank G and the green one? I'm going to take a guess here. I want to say, I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me, but I want to say that the green one was the first model that they released, Martin, and they were having some little tiny issues with that, with the contact hitting the circuit board, and it would kind of short the unit out. It was causing issues. That's what I heard on another video. So the green one, I believe, is the earlier model, and now this is the new model. And I believe so. It's a slight click like the old ADA MP1. Yeah. When you go from one patch to another, there is a slight little hesitation. I mean, it's ever so slight, man. It's not, to me, it's not a deal breaker. Cause like I said, I have others that the hesitation was more. And, I was like, oh my God, so Edwin, what are you doing, man? Can you play every single Bon Jovi song on it? I guess if you want to, man. Edwin, I think, are you feeling good tonight, brother? What you doing down there, man? You're being crazy. You're funny, man. I would not want to play every single Bon Jovi song. I'm doing good to know a couple of Bon Jovi songs that I haven't played in a long time. I know one song I'll never play again, Wanted Dead or Alive. We played that so much back years ago, and I always struggle with that intro. I always struggle with that thing. I always whoop my ass every time. I'd get confused because the fingering is really odd. And then you see like 8-year-old kids on stage doing it like it ain't nothing. And I'm like, man, give me a break. Okay, I asked if y'all want me to go through some of the sounds. I'm letting the chat decide because, like I said, y'all are in charge. CC says, yes, let it rip. Okay. Edwin says they rip it from the hillbillies. Oh my goodness. Hey, Ted Fair, what's going on, man? How are you, sir? Thank you, Ted, for commenting on the videos on the other channel, too. Thank you, man. Yes. Blue Monks, yeah. And I want to say, he says another brand was putting out a black one very similar to this, the same kind of rig. And I don't know if this is the same company as what the Playwell is, but it was Locato. It was a Locato name. I saw that on, that's the same one I use for my wireless. When I saw that name on that other model that you're talking about, because I looked and I was like, what is that? That ain't the Tank G, but it looks just like it, don't it? Looks just like it. And, yes, the purple one. Yes. That's what you want. The purple one. Yes, sir. You did correct. Yes. Ralph is saying hello to Ted. Awesome. He says it's good to hear from y'all. That's awesome. Yeah, I kind of figured, man, because when you start commenting like that, I was like, that dude is feeling good, man. He's on cloud 9 right now. He's up there. He's flying high. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Up in smoke. Up in smoke. Large car lifestyle. Yeah. We got some other things coming on this channel, folks. I can't divulge anything right now, but man, we got some big stuff coming. At least 3 separate things that are coming, and I can't say nothing about it yet. Number 1, because none of it has arrived. Number 2, I have to make videos for these things, and I have to make some for one subject matter, and then the others I'll do live here, because I love doing the live. I love interacting with the chat. CC says, yes, man, my second vote, play, he says. Okay. Ralph the Drummer Butcher says, fire it up. Okay. All right, then we'll, Ted says, make it happen, or I'm going to make sure you don't get a camper when you retire. Damn. Okay. Kidding, Ted. Ted's like, what? That ain't what that says. Dave Morgan says, I'm changing my Tank G now. Oh, charging. I thought it said changing. I was like, you got 2 of them? Okay. What are you doing? I'm changing this out. Okay. Let's see. Large car, Slick Rick says, give it a whirl. Okay. All right, man. Let me take these headphones off for just 1 second. Let's change the camera angle. And yeah, if y'all wonder what I use, that is the wireless system I use right there, like the Kato that I just showed you. I use that all the time. And they're rechargeable, and I will never buy another. Now, I'm speaking the truth because I spend my own money. Let me go back to camera 1 for a second. I will never buy another X5. I will never buy another wireless unit right here. I'm just not going to do it. $155 as opposed to $45 on Temu, and it works great. I mean, come on, man. It's a no-brainer, right? All right, so let's go through some of these sounds here. Let me put my headphones up, move this chair back here. And hopefully we don't get too hung up here, because when the chair is here, it's bad about getting in the way of everything. Gonna be a problem. Move this damn thing out of the way. Sorry, y'all. I apologize. All right. And make sure you plug it in the right one. You got a receiver and a transmitter. So you want your receiver to go into the pedal. Your the beginning of your pedal chain and the transmitter to go into your guitar. Right in here. Okay. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on first. I'm going to cut off the stereo settings, all right? I'm going to cut those off first. So we're going to turn off the enhancements, which is the mimic, double tracker, and the delay. Now, what we're going through now is strictly just the tank G, all right? That's just the tank G. All right? So, I'm going to go all the way down to preset number 1. So I got to hit these two together. Now this is the very first preset. And then number 2, or actually B, and then C. So now you got some delay, which is great, but this unit is mono, so you can't make it. That's why I go through my stereo setup, so I can make it more enhanced. But it does have a built-in delay, and you can do what you want with that. But it will be, the trails will be in the middle. You'll hear what I mean, see? Everything's just in the middle, but it still sounds good. So then if I want to go to the next bank, I hit these together like I showed you in the video. Now we're on bank 2, patch A. See? Pretty chorusy sound. Pretty clean there. Clean. That was pretty good. So we go to number 3. And you can adjust all these. You can edit everything and save what you want. That sounds kind of like a Rockman tone, don't it? It's kind of... Huh. That's pretty cool. It's kind of a weird phaser kind of. And he's got some reverb and all that stuff too. That's a weird kind of phaser. Yeah, phaser. That's pretty heavy. That's got some reverb to it. Sounds good. Now we're going to get... no, this is bank 5. So... bank 5, patch B. And we're on the last one. Now, I think 6... patch 6 is where I started to really do some work here. I think it's not that one. I think it's this one. Yeah. And then I went to C on bank 6. I like that sound. So if I go up to bank 7 and it's patch A, that's what I was using at the beginning of the show. And I dialed that in. That's with the EVH 5150. So it sounds good. And then you can go to a clean right next to it on B. So let's bring back the stereo enhancements. So you'll see what I mean. So now we're going to start with the DD5 Boss digital delay. Now listen for the trails. They're going to go back and forth, all right? You can already hear a widening of the sound already. You can already hear that. So now let's go to the Mr. Black double tracker. Turn that on. Now listen to this. And now the final cherry on top, the mimic. It's going to make it more of a wider spread. So now this is all the enhancements. So that's the Tank G with everything right there. I think that sounds really good. It's very awesome sounding, if you ask me. I think it sounds really good. So you see what I'm saying there? It's it sounds really good, man. It's really powerful. You just play around with the settings a little bit, man, and you kind of get a little something that you like. Yeah, it's great. It's a great sounding pedal. And it's just awesome, man. I really like it. I really do. Let me see if they have something to say about it right here.
Today, I've got to stop and profile like never before.
Hello, baby.
Oh, yeah. Only thing about this... There we go. My switch acts up sometimes. Weird, man. I gotta spray some stuff in it, I guess. I don't know. But there you go, man. I mean, it's just, how can you not like that tone? I mean, that sounds great, right? I mean, for $79, man, come on now. I mean, good God. got something out of tune. Bad, boy. That sucker is flat. Woo! Big time. Yeah, I was sitting there playing. I said, man, something is wrong, boy. Sucker done went bad. That is not good. I hope I'm not missing going to be missing a string again here, because I always have trouble with this E string sometimes. I could hear it when I was playing, how flat it was. I was trying to tune it on the fly, but it wasn't wanting to work. Wasn't wanting to work. So let's see what we got here. Okay. And, I hope it don't break. I just put these strings on last night, but let's see what we got. Sorry, y'all. It is live, you know. It is live, so got to keep that in mind. Everything else seemed to do pretty good, though. Did all right, man. Okay, so there you go. So now you see what I'm talking about as far as the sound. Sorry, I didn't mean to take up too much time. I apologize. Let's see. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. What does this say now? Did somebody just order? Oh, you just ordered the wireless unit, the Locato? I don't know if it's Locato. I don't know. Yeah, I think I don't have any problems with it, man. What's that? Dave Morgan says, oh, they did that deal? I'm not sure what you're referring to. I know I'm late getting to these because I played a couple of songs. I'm sorry. Man, this thing here is aggravating as heck. Okay. Edwin Crane says, favorite song to play on that pedal? Oh, man, I don't know. There's I guess the ones I just play, I don't know. I like to add some more. Just to, some more songs, that is. Show me the money. Dude, you the one. You the money man, not me. You ride around in a $280,000 rig. You got it going on. Let's see here. Yeah, if you're running a mono setup, yeah, exactly, Blue Monk. See, if you're running mono, just go for it and have fun. That's right, yeah. By no means am I saying that you have to have a stereo rig. I'm not saying that at all. But it's just what I like, you know. And I'm getting down to the toward down here. Sorry, y'all. Send me a pic of your setup. Are you talking to me or? And Bloody Soup, what's going on, man? How are you, sir? And I ain't what I wanted. Daggum. I thought that was the applause. I forgot. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. Hey, Bloody Soup, welcome. Are you talking to me, Rod? I mean, I can. It's nothing fancy. It's just a matter of the pedals, man, that and how you put them in order and how you have everything hooked up. And Jimmy Z, you're not too late, brother. Not too late at all, man. Not too late at all. Bloody Soup says, got here late. I'll catch the replay. Hopefully everyone is doing good. Yeah, man. We're just hanging out on this Saturday night, playing some music and having a good time. Some pound cake. Yeah. Yeah, it's I love playing that song, man. Playing it once in a while. And hey Ryan, how you doing, man? How are you doing? Let's see if I can just get down here into this part. The doll pull, what's going on, man? Oh, I gotta stand up. My knees are killing me. But yeah. There's all kind of cool songs on here I like, man. I haven't practiced all of them. I just all kind of stuff, man. ZZ Top is fun to do. Why does that sound out already? That's not a good sign. Oh, it's the B string. Wow. This thing just has a mind of its own sometimes. I put a new post on here last night too. That's what I was wanting to say. Maybe it just hasn't settled yet or something. You never know. Let's see what we got now. There is a little medley I like to play from time to time, and it's pretty cool. What do you think, Rick?
Woo!
Yeah, that's what I think.
Woo!
Let's try this. Well, but first, let me show you what I mean. When you roll it back, see how it cleans up? I think that's cool, man. All right. So you got to hear all the presets and everything else, for just a quick run through. And we'll put this back and we'll get back onto the chat here. I'm going to cut this unit off. And it is rechargeable, like I said. We'll cut that off real quick. And all right. Don't want to forget the drill. Yeah, we don't want to forget the drill, man. It's if anybody's wondering what I'm using, it's the Ernie Ball Power Peg Pro. It's great for a pound cake, man. When you're doing that song, it's perfect for that. All right, get my headset on here. And okay, let's get back to the chat here. And let's see here. Let's see, dog. What's happening, man? How are you doing? I find it feels more real if I'm not in the monitors, but have guitar wet with effects only into the headrush cab to one side and backing only in my monitors. Yeah, that's cool, man. There's so many different ways you can do that, and to make a huge sound. Yeah, and really cool things you can do. Yeah, let's see. Jimmy Z, what's going on, man? After all these years, still a badass song. Yeah, there's certain songs I just love to play all the time, and I hope it don't get too boring. I just love. There's just certain songs that make me feel good, man. And let's see. Let's see. Yes, being able to choose or use different IRs when mixing is a great trick. Yeah, and that's what this little effects processor lets you do, man. It lets you choose different IRs. I mean, they're not spectacular kind of things, but for $79, man, you can't beat it. Can't beat it at all. I don't think, anyway. I don't think so. Like I said, man, I got so many things in this room, little things I've used over the years. Spent a lot of money on different little gadgets, and that's just what you do, man. You just, like I said, I've got some other little processors that are similar to this that I've had for a few years, and they don't sound as good as this. But then again, that was like 3 years ago. So technology is changing. It's such a rapid pace, and this thing here will be outdated probably in 6 months. I mean, I remember when I got the Headrush Prime, I don't have it anymore now. But when I did get it, I don't know, about a couple of years ago, I guess, I was really excited when I got it. A buddy of mine told me about it, and I liked it when I first got it. But I don't know, something about it over time, I got to where I didn't use it as much, and I used a little, that's when I transitioned from, I went from that, might sound like I'm going backwards, but I went from the Headrush Prime, and I went to a NuX little effects processor, and it was about, I don't know, $220, and it was pretty cool. And what I liked about that is it allowed you to dial in stereo delay, where it would ping pong and all that, and it was really easy to do. I know you can do that on the Headrush and all that, but there were so many different things that you had to do to get to that level. And you had to do, I mean, it was just a bunch. I was like, man, I don't want to sit there and have to tinker with a lot of stuff. I want to be able to plug it up, play it. I want it to work. I shouldn't have to go to college to figure some of that stuff out. And that's what it felt like to me. But so I had that New X for a little bit. And then I went to the Line 6 Pod Express. And when I went to that, I was like, wow, this, because it has the fingerprint of the Helix for the tones. And I was like, wow. And that Line 6 Pod Express, which I still have, it's the red version. They have two. They have the red and they have the black if you want more of a, I guess, heavier tones for, metal and stuff like that. But so I still have the Line 6 Pod Express, but I was using that, and to me it sounded better as far as patches and tones than the Headrush Prime. And the Line 6 Pod Express was so easy to dial up. You had 4 knobs, 2 on each side and then 1 in the middle to save your, to save your presets to whatever bank you wanted. And I really liked it. Now, it was more of a plastic chassis and all, but it was really high quality, man. It was really good. And I had that for a while. And then I went back to my Zoom G1 Xfour because it's mono, but I was using a TRS cable and going into the stereo setup, and I was able to bring that to life, so to speak. And I was like, oh man, that sounds great. I've always loved Zoom products ever since years and years ago. I remember when the first Zoom little effects thing came out years ago. It was this small little black Zoom effects processor, and it had where you could put your strap through it. I forget the model number, what it was called, but and it had little sliders. It had 3 sliders on the front of the unit that you could. That's how you would change your tones and your whatever. And back then, that was groundbreaking. I remember I had that when I was a teenager. But anyway, so I had the Line 6 Pod Express. I went to the Zoom G1 Xfour, which was going even further back. But since I was able to put it in stereo, it sounded really good. And then I came to the Tank G. Dave Orkin reached out to me about it and said, hey, man, you need to check this out. And so the first thing I did, I went on YouTube and I started looking at reviews. And I would listen to what it sounded like and how they had their setup. Because a lot of people, man, they'll be kind of deceiving. They'll hook it up and it sounds incredible, but they don't tell you how they got it running. They're like, oh, this is it. I'm like, nah, man. So that's what I did just now. I wanted you to hear what it was without any enhancements. And there you go. So I've had my share of going through little gadgets and processors and all, and it's just fun to do. I don't know. And then over time, I might give some of that stuff away so I won't use it no more. Edwin Cream wants to know if I know any King's X. No, not offhand. I love King's X. The only backing track they had on karaoke version was Over My Head, which I do have. I don't have it on here. I do have, I've played it before. It's a fun song. But I really wish they would release Goldilocks as a backing track. That is my favorite King's X song. And for whatever reason, it's not on karaoke version. It's just Over My Head. That's it. And I'm like, damn, King's X had a lot of great hits. So I don't know if they're having trouble getting people in the studio to record that for them for karaoke version or what. But I wish they did have the Goldilocks. I'd love to get that backing track. Let's see. The Dogpub makes a comment. He says that with a software IR loader for mixing, I have unlimited choices, but I still record IR. I had in the cab clone too. Nice. Joe, did you put the Munster bolts on the SBS? Yes, I did, man. I did. I don't know if I can. Let me see. Make sure I'm not going to hit nothing. Yeah, Dave sent me some locking screws here for the SBS. Here it is right here. So Dave Orkin was kind enough to send me those, see those gold locking screws? There you go. See how the light hits it? It's purple. Dave Orkin sent me those. Thank you, Dave. That was very kind. And let you see what it looks like. Right there is the SBS Steve Brown sound. And great guitar. Excellent guitar. And it just makes it pop a little bit with the purple locking screws up top. And I've seen a few videos with Steve Brown playing this guitar. I guess Trickster's doing like a 1987 tour or something. And yeah. Thank you, Dave. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate that. That was really kind. Very nice. But yes, they are on there and they are great. I have to play that guitar next time. Yes. Let's see. Rod says that I gave my grandson one of my older Zoom pedals. Don't remember what model. Yeah, they've got a lot of they have a lot of models out over the years. And I just remember that one had the 3 sliders on it. I can't remember what it was called. But I always liked Zoom stuff, man. Always have. I always thought they were very cool. Let's see. Dave says he's replacing the machine heads right now. Oh, nice. Yeah, he's rebuilding his some stuff on his guitar. I don't want to say in case he wants to leave it a surprise and show it off or something, but yeah. Yeah, it's see if we can get down here to this. Let's see here. Let me go one more right here. Okay. I'm sorry. This little cursor is just, it's so tiny. You have to get your mouse cursor right on it to make the chat move. And if you just barely, it goes, and it's like, wait a minute, man. That's the only downside about EVMux I can't stand is trying to get the live chat to look at it and so you can read everything. Dave says, Joe, wait until you see my SBS, what it looks like now so far. I can imagine, man. I know you've been sending me pictures of your progress. And it looks really sharp, man. Really sharp. Let's see. Brother Ted makes a comment. He says, I really like to play Goldilocks Reprise by King's X. It was recorded by King's X, tuned down a whole step. It's off the Ogre Tones album. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's the only thing with me with certain songs. Because I had somebody ask me this, it wasn't that long ago, somebody emailed me. One of the kind subscriber here emailed me and asked me if I had any guitars tuned down, half a step, a whole step, or, what was I doing? And I said, no, man, here on this channel, for me, when I play, everything's in standard. Everything's in 440. Now, a lot of the older Van Halen songs, they were in E flat, half a step down. And when I purchase them off karaoke version, I bump them up a half a step, so they're in standard. And a lot of the heavy Van Halen enthusiasts say that it loses something if you do that. To me, it don't lose anything. It's about playing music. Now, if you bumped it up 2 steps and the vocals sound like chipmunks, yeah, don't do that. But I did that with a Motley Crue backing track one time because they're down a whole step. There goes that motorcycle again. And and I had a guitar, a cheap guitar. I don't have it. I took it apart. I was using it for some parts and stuff, believe it or not. But I had a guitar that was down a whole step, just to play Motley Crue. And there was only 2 Motley Crue songs I was doing at the time, which were Girls, Girls, Girls and Kickstart My Heart. And when I first got those tracks, I was like, damn, they're down a whole step. So I raised it to standard pitch, and it sounded like the dude was on serious helium, and I said, man, I can't play that track like that. That sounds retarded. So that was the only time I really tuned down. But in a case like that with those Motley Crue songs, you have to be a whole step down to make it work. But as far as a song being a half a step or whatever, to me, in my opinion only, all right, this is just me, I don't think that's necessary, when you're doing something like this. Now, if you're in a tribute band and everybody is, is really strict on that, yeah, I get it. But I'm just a one-man show, so I try to make things easy as possible for me because I got a lot to control here. I got a lot of stuff I got to do. I got a mixer to run here. I got songs that are programmed on here. I got this audio I'm working on here, not to mention the guitar stuff. So it's kind of like, you got a lot going on. So if I can make things work and go from song to song, I don't have to tune anything. To me, that's just what works. That's just, to me, I think that's just my opinion. And y'all can tell me what you think. Let me go back. Let's see. Edwin, brother Edwin. He says, I love that Zoom stuff too. Me too, man. I always enjoyed it. Some of the newer, there was the new thing that came out. It might have came out earlier this year. I can't remember what it was. It was a Zoom thing, and it was really small, and it had 4 little silver switches on it. And I heard some of the effects, and I thought it was horrible. I was like, man, they're going backwards. Yeah. But it was, I don't know. I didn't like that new processor. Dave says Eddie tuned his G string down to either 13 or 14 one song. Yeah, he would. Yeah, Eddie would do some crazy stuff sometimes, man. He'd drop D and, all kind of stuff, man. Might have been the B string, maybe. I don't know. I do know on that song Good Enough, like what I was trying to play earlier, I do know that on the low E string, he used a bass string during the recording of that song to get just a deeper kind of tone. Eddie was always doing weird stuff like that. I don't dive into stuff that hard when I'm playing. Like I said, I just try to get a decent tone out of these processors or whatever I'm using. Try to find some fun backing tracks, man, and try to play the song half-ass, the best I can and have fun. That's what it's all about, man. Having fun. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, man. Let's see. Pardon me. Let's see. The dog says, I use the heavier strings and tune down for certain Sabbath songs. You got to for the right sound. When I played live, I had a backup guitar tuned down for, absolutely. If you're playing live and you're doing stuff like that in a band, you need to bring a few guitars, especially for something like that. Yeah, something that's tuned down and is ready. And preferably something that's not a Floyd Rose, something that's just a hardtail. That's just my opinion. Edwin says, I'll get off my motorcycle, I promise. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We're out here and there's a lot of, I'm surprised there's anybody riding out this time of night. It's not that it's really late, but usually it's pretty quiet. But last night, we don't have no dogs outside, but a lot of people around here have dogs. And that's all I heard last night was dogs barking in the distance. And because it gets really quiet out here. We're out here in the country, and it's noise will carry on, man. And it just kept on going and going. I was like, man, what the hell are them dogs doing, But one starts barking, then they all join in. You know how it is. But Anyway, Ted Fair, he says, it kind of sucks when artists record halfway between E and E flat. Makes covering the song a pain in the ass. Def Leppard and Rat seem to do that. Yeah, I always hated that in my earlier years. You try to play along with something and you're like, what tuning are they in? And eventually I would just say the heck with it, man. And Van Halen did that on some of their songs too, man, their early stuff. They were bad about that. Let's see. Now I've heard this name. I've always said Diodario, but I've heard other people say D'Addario. I've always said Diodario. I don't know, but tomato. But Dave says Diodario is what he's been using lately. I've been using Diodario strings for many, many years, man. Many years. Look at this. I got this out of a guitar case probably 6 months ago, and it's still sitting here. And I don't use Ernie balls. These are 10s. These are 10s right here, 10 to 46. I don't play 10s. And they were in a guitar case. And I remember where I got these. I got them for Christmas years ago, and they've been sitting here. And there's nothing wrong with Ernie Ball. I'm just not an Ernie Ball player. I use D'Addario. And I like those because they seem to last longer, just my opinion. And I love the colored ends. You know, so when you look at the headstock, because I put my strings on backwards because I got a Floyd Rose. So when I string them up backwards, you can see the colored ends at the headstock. And I just think that looks cool. I remember seeing that years ago when I was a teenager. And I was like, why they got it strung? And then I was like, oh, I see why. It saves on, it just saves you like an extra step on stringing up a Floyd Rose guitar. And plus it just looks cool. Just for me. That's just me. Let's see. Dave says he plays 11 to 49s. Okay. Yeah, I've always played 9 to 42, but I like a light gauge string. But yeah, y'all tell me what y'all use, man. I'm curious. Yeah. Let's see. The Dogpa says, I do like the NYXLs, but since I can't afford it, I use Optima Gold. Wait a minute. Optima Gold. Those are pricey, man. Those are, when I had that John 5 Gold Squire Telly, I put Optima Gold strings on there and I had to really dig around to find those. But they look really good on that guitar. I sold that guitar a couple of months back. And, oh, by the way, I have 3 guitars for sale in my Reverb store right now. I don't know if y'all noticed that or not. I put one on there last night, and I relisted 2 others. So, but yeah, I got 3 guitars on the chopping block right now. So if you're interested, go to the Joe Wentz Project store on Reverb and take a gander. There's some good prices there. They won't be there long, I'm sure. Then again, who knows? Depends on how bad somebody wants it, you know. Rod says he loves his Ernie Ball strings. He also uses D'Addario. Nice. Yeah, I love D'Addario strings, man. I just always been a fan of those, and I've just always had good luck with them. Man, this thing here, I had $1 for every time this thing wasn't working right. All right. Ted Fair, he says, we're talking about strings, string gauges, string brands. What is it that you like? Because Lord knows there's a bunch of different brands of strings out there and different gauges. I personally like 9 to 42, but I like to see what everybody else uses. Let's see. Ted Fair says, I use Ernie Ball regular Slinkies 9s and 10s. They're less expensive here in Cali because they are a locally made brand. Ooh. I didn't know that. Edwin Crane says producers change a lot in the studios. So, okay. Let's see here. We got Hey, Mikey, what's going on, man? How are you doing? How are you doing? How you doing? He says 8 through 38 string gauge. Wow. Dang, isn't that what ain't that what Billy Gibbons uses? Don't he use 8s, I think? I want to say he does. Man, that's yeah, the NYXLs, I've tried those maybe twice. And they're nice. I think they're, I don't know, they're a little expensive, I think. Just for me personally. Yeah, same here, Dave. I've always used old school Diodarios, and I've tried them. I just don't. I don't know. It was just me. I was like, I don't see what the difference is. They supposedly last longer, but that's what I hear. But I just didn't. I didn't have that experience. I was like, they lasted about, like any other guitar string any other pack of Diodarios that I've had. But Edwin says he used to like blue steel. I remember those. God, that's back in the day right there. I remember those, man. Yeah. Those look cool, though. I remember seeing those in the guitar magazines and stuff. The Dog Post says that he uses 9 to 46 for his Gibson, 9 to 42 for his Stromberg. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, some people will use different gauges for like a Gibson and a Strat or whatever. I've seen that some people will use like gauge 10s on a Gibson or something. And some people use gauge 10s and they'll like tune down a half a step, right? And I guess that's if you're in a band or something. So I guess that way it wouldn't really... I just can't do gauge 10s and be tuned to standard. It tears my fingertips up, man. Rod says, I break anything below 9. Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. I've always heard that you can't use 8s on a Floyd Rose guitar because the thin strings will slide through the nut up there, no matter how tight you have the clamps, because the strings just won't hold the strings. That's what I heard somebody. I believe it too. I was like, damn. And plus, that would really throw you have to set everything back up on your Floyd for, gauge 8s. I was like, man, I couldn't imagine. And let's see. Expensive Optimas are almost $30. Yeah, I know, man. Optima Gold, they're up there. I remember when I had that John 5 Gold, it was I actually had to find some on the used market. I couldn't find any, but yeah, they were high. But yeah, when I sold that guitar, I put that. It had Optima Gold strings on it, and I put the other set I had in the case. So that person got a hell of a deal, man. He got a nice guitar, he got a case with it, and he got a pack of Optima Gold strings. And the dude had enough gall to tell me when he got it, he goes, oh, man, I don't know if you should have listed this in excellent condition. There's a tiny ding on the very back of the body. I was like, are you serious? I didn't say nothing to him. I was like, give me a break, dude. Really? I didn't see no ding. I took pictures all over the thing, and I don't know, man. I was like, come on, dude. You got to cut me a break on that. You got a hell of a deal. Some people, man, you just don't know. Some people cannot never be satisfied. Greasy Monkey Guitars. Hey, man, I got a hat from their site that says the Dario. Okay, that's interesting, man. That's interesting. The Dario. There you go. So that explains that's how it's pronounced. Okay. because I never really knew, you know. Never liked the blue steel strings, Dave says. I never tried them. I thought the advertisement looked cool back in the day. But I've never tried them. Dogpa says NYXLs just sound night and day better than all other regular strings, in my opinion. Yeah, man. Like I said, that was just my experience. You know, I just I couldn't really hear much of a difference, but that's just me. You know, maybe I was just in a weird place that day. You know, I just really wasn't paying attention, but they do good. A lot of people buy them, and I'm not putting down. They just weren't for me, you know. Oh, it's easy to get the Optima Gold strings online now? Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. I don't know if, you know what? I might get a pack, Dogpa, for the gold Strat right there. I broke that out a couple of days ago, and that's got a new neck on it. Sure does. I put a new neck on it yesterday. It's I ordered a Fender 22 fret neck, put on there, and it's, oh man, it plays so nice. So a pack of Optima strings would go great on that Strat because it's you know, it's got that gold sparkle paint job, gold top, kind of, sort of. Edwin Crane, let's see, what does he say? If you can't play something with strings on it, you're not a guitarist. Well, my long fingers love them. Okay. I'm kind of lost on that one, but Ted Ferris says, always use 10s on Gibsons. Okay. And 24 3/4 and Fender Strats 9s are too dang slinky on some guitars. I use 9s on most Floyd guitars, such as the EVH, Charvel, and ESP. Yeah, I use 9s on everything, but I can understand. Can you just imagine Steve Ray Vaughan, man? He had like, what, gauge 13s or something? I was like, what? You know? I was like, man, let's see. Yeah, that's what I said, man. The dog, but yeah, no marks, perfect, or museum, not excellent. Jeez, yeah. It was I did put it excellent condition on there because I didn't see nothing wrong with it at all. I was just going by the choices that Reverb gives you to list it, you know. But that guitar was the first choice is mint, and of course it wasn't that. But I put the next one's excellent, so I put excellent, and that guy was like, "You shouldn't have chose that." And I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Let's see. I played 13s. You played 13s, gauge 13s for 3 years? Dang, dude. Yeah, I remember my son had a Strat one time years ago, and he put 13s on it, and then the bridge was like, whoop, was up in the air. I said, damn. He said, here. He let me hold it, and just by strumming a couple of chords, I knew. I said, oh my God. And I tried to bend the note. I couldn't even do it. I was like, nope, no. It's not going to work for me. Yeah, and that was a long time ago. And I said, why did you do that, man? You going to play that guitar like that? He's like, he did for a little bit, but he couldn't, you know, it's hard to play it. The only good thing, positive about it, was it stayed in tune. stay working. I use 12s and 13s on my SG since I tuned that guitar down. Yeah, I totally understand that. If you're tuning down, oh yeah, you have to get a heavier gauge string. Let's see. Ron says next time you order a neck, get a warm off guitar neck. You won't be disappointed. Yeah, I looked into those before. They're a little pricey, but they're good. I haven't never ordered one, but I've heard a lot of good things about them. But I just wanted to get that because that's a Fender guitar. I want to get a Fender neck, you know. And I found that neck used on Reverb, and the guy is pretty decent deal. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. But hey, it worked. Now when I got it, I had to put my neck leveling tool on it, and it was like humped up in the middle. I said, "Ooh!" So I got the truss rod and made it straight. It's perfect. Yeah. And let's see. Just Strings has a great sale going on right now, and they have Optima Gold. Oh, nice, man. I have to check that out. I need to check that out. Thank you for that information. And neck adjust. Yes, I definitely had to do that. Yeah. Definitely had to do that, man. And it's amazing the difference that makes. Yeah. I had a couple of sets of Allen wrenches that, man, those things are always something else, man, to try to get to fit the truss rod. Okay. Let's see. Ted Fair says, my two husky dogs always seem to like hanging out with me when playing guitar. I take it as a positive that they don't howl and run away. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Are you still up there at the office, Ted, or I know you see here. Louie, hey man, what's going on? Louie Linguini, what's up, my man? My friend from Facebook, he says, Ernie Ball Super Slinky's 9-42. It's a paint package I read years ago in Guitar Player magazine with Ace Frehley on the cover that those are what he used. So I bought some and have used them ever since. That's awesome, man. Ace is my favorite member of Kiss, man. I need to get this one touched up. It's been about 8 or 10 years. I need to get it touched up. It's Ace is looking kind of rough. Looks more like a clown or something. Let's see. The Dogpa says, we're talking about strings, Louis, strings, necks, string gauges. What kind of necks do you prefer if you swap out necks and different brands of everything, effects processors, just all kind of stuff, man. And let's see, the Dogpa says, get a warm mouth roasted maple neck and you'll never buy anything else again. Wow, man. I'm going to look into that. And also, Warmouth does all kinds of custom necks. Amazing options, great product. I definitely am going to have to check that out because, as y'all know, I love playing with a Floyd Rose most of the time. So, yeah, I have to look into that. I've gotten necks from, well, of course, the Stratosphere. If you're not familiar with that, they have a store on eBay. And when I put together Southern Belle last week, that Fender neck came from the Stratosphere. It's brand new and it was great. I really like it. I've got necks from Mighty Might, and they're good. They don't seem to. I've put the Mighty Mike necks on different like super strats, and they work okay on some and not really that good on like a Fender body. The Mighty Mike necks they seem like they're really tall. And on some other bodies, they seem to work great. So it's kind of touch and go, I guess. But let's see. Oh, the Warmoth factory is 2 miles from your house. Oh man, dude, you could order it and go pick it up and drive right down there and get it. Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. I don't. There's no big factories like that around here. Not when it comes to music. I've always kind of wanted to go to Sweetwater to kind of walk around their facility. Not that I probably ever will, but I would. I don't know. I order a lot of stuff from Sweetwater, man. I get a lot from them, and I think it's really cool that not only can you order from there, but you can go there and walk around and buy stuff. I mean, I've never heard of that from anywhere else. Like I used to, this is going to sound bad. I don't mean for it to sound bad, but I used to do a lot of business with AMS, American Musical Supply. I did business with them for years, man. I'm talking, probably close to 20 years. And the thing that turned me off with them was a phone conversation. That's what turned me off from them, just like that. And it was, I called them up one time, not to order anything. I was calling them up to give them kudos to their service. And, I never had a problem. If I did, they took care of it. I called them one time and I said, yeah, can I speak to a manager? And he's like, sure, hold on. They transferred me, and this guy was, you could tell he was on his laptop or something. He was doing something. And he's like, hello. I said, is this the manager? He's like, yeah. I said, yeah, I just want to tell you, man, I appreciate y'all's service, appreciate what you do. I've been doing business with y'all for a long time. And he just kind of sat there for a second. And he goes, oh, okay, I appreciate it. Is there anything else I can do for you? And I said, no. It's just the way he sounded. It was kind of like, like you're bothering me. So I said, okay, click. Sweetwater, here I go. And I've been with Sweetwater ever since, man. And my sales rep, it don't matter if I order a pack of strings or if I order a guitar, he always calls and checks to make sure I'm satisfied every time. And I got into a sticky situation one time of no fault of my own, and he fixed it to where I was in the clear. And so I'm a faithful Sweetwater customer ever since. I mean, they've always done me right, man. So AMS, good luck to them, but I don't use them anymore. And I want to say that Guitar Center is, I don't know if AMS owns Guitar Center or if it's Musician's Friend or something. One of those. I can't remember. Maybe y'all know. Ron says they used to be Boogie Bodies. I had a Strat. Wish I never sold it. Oh, yeah, Boogie Bodies. Yeah. I remember that from Eddie Van Halen talking about that in some interviews. Okay, Ted, you were not at the office. Good. He said, I'm working from home this weekend. I'm having new computers installed at work. I asked the computer technician if he can install some Ethernet. Yes, wall connections for my Rodecaster Pro 2. There you go, man. There you go. That's awesome. Yeah. The computer tech was like, what the hell is a Rodecaster Pro 2? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I understand. Yeah. Yeah. Some people don't understand. Let's see. Oh, my goodness gracious alive. Yeah, I love my Rodecaster Pro 2, man. I just, I enjoy it very much. I mean, it's a very important part of my setup. I mean, I've used DAWs and other mixers and stuff in the past, and everything is just a stepping stone, man. There's a little bit of a learning curve with it, but it's not to the point where, you're going to be like, oh, God, what is it? I mean, it's not. If it was that bad, I would have sent it back. I would have sent it back and went back to my old setup. But I love this. I love this unit, man. God forbid if something happened to it, I'd have to get one. I'd get one off the used market because they have them used at a good deal. But I just, once I started to use this, now just me personally, and I told a few of my internet guitar buddies about it, and they got one, and I guess they're still happy with it. A few of those people I don't hear from anymore. I mean, I guess they're just living life and doing their thing. I guess, life's busy, but I don't ever hear from quite a few people. But on the flip side of that, I don't reach out to nobody either, so I can't really say nothing. I can't say nothing. It is what it is, and we just keep on doing what we're doing. I had somebody ask me, I think it was yesterday, they reached out to me and wanted to know why I was doing this solo show, and it was not an intentional thing. It was not like, well, from now on, I'm just going to do it by myself. That's not the case at all. Not the case at all. I just noticed things started to change right before Christmas last year. I guess Thanksgiving, Christmas, in between that time, and you're getting to the holiday season, and people are busy, and people are doing stuff, and I totally get it. And I've always told people that were on this show, I said, look, this is just for fun. Nobody's under contract. There's nothing like that. I don't expect people to be dedicated, not like that at all. And for the time that people were here, I was very grateful because it was a lot of fun, and I miss that. But sometimes I think people just they move on to other things, man, and they might have got tired of it. I don't know. I never asked. I'm just assuming because I don't hear from nobody no more. And again, that's fine, man. So I said, well, I guess I'll just carry on. And then around Christmas, I was going live by myself. I was using my, it was right after Christmas. I went live with my mom got me a little, what do you call it? That iTablet or whatever, iPad or whatever. I don't know what you call it. Yeah, iPad. And I had it set up on the desk right here where it was kind of looking down on me, a different angle. I was using that for a while. And it just went from there. And that's really how it started. Like I said, it's not like I meant to be a solo thing, but that's how it always started years ago. I always started just doing stuff by myself. And yes. Yeah. Me too, Ted. Same here. Same here, man. I miss those guys too. Nathan, if nobody knows, Nathan's my son, and he's been really busy with work. He's in his mid-30s, man. He's living his life. He's doing his thing. When I was his age, I was busy doing my thing. So I get it, man. And with with everybody else, it's just I can't speak for them. I don't know. I haven't heard from nobody, so I can't say nothing. But I hope everybody's doing well, and I surely wish them well because they were super nice people, man. And I've never had an issue with nobody that was on here at all. If I had any issues with anybody, it was with a couple people at work, but that's work, and I just don't talk to them no more. They're just weirdos. But as far as people that was on the show, it just, I get it, man. I was on a show with Dave Stafford and R2, R3 Lock, and Dave had a podcast. We did that for like a year and a half, and it ran its course, and for me personally, I got burnt out because we did it every Friday night, and I was faithful to that. And then it just got to where I was like, man, I like to do something for my channel for a change. And so I was doing Dave's show on Friday. And if I want to do something on this channel, I was having to do it on Saturday. So that means I was in here the whole weekend and not spending no time with my wife or nothing, or let alone trying to play. And it just wasn't working. And plus working 12 hours a night, driving all the time. So we did that for about a year and a half. And to be fair, I told Dave that I needed a break, and so then him and R2 did it for a while, and then I think that just kind of I don't know what happened there. It went on for a while. Dave has to tell that story. I can't. And then it just kind of disappeared. And then every once in a while we would get together, and I always had so much fun with those guys, man. They were kind enough to bring me in to that show, and I always had so much fun with them because they are a riot. They are a riot, and I love those guys. And but that went for a while. We do some one-offs here and there, and we had a great time. And then, so I totally get it, man. When somebody wants to do something different, or maybe they get burnt out. I mean, I totally understand. So I'm not here being upset or nothing. I totally get it. But I have had people ask me, why are you doing a solo show? And that's why. Because I guess people just, they just want something different, I guess. And that's totally cool. I don't have an issue with that at all. Not at all. Let's see. Rod makes a comment. He says that, Joe, I love your channel. I'm glad we're here. You do have a solid little following. Thank you, man. Yes. Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. And I appreciate y'all being here. I've been trying to stay consistent on Saturdays here. And I appreciate y'all returning, to come hang out with me. I really do. I really do thank y'all. Let's see. The Dampa says, yeah, when I was 30, I used to have a life. Yeah, Nathan, he'll be 35 this year, and it's hard for me to fathom that. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I'm like, damn. And I'm about to be 55 next month, so him and I are almost exactly 20 years apart. Almost. Very, very close. The Dampa says, I was at almost every one of those shows. Yeah. On Dave's channel. Yeah, and it was fun. Like I said, I had a great time. And if they want to do a couple of special shows or something, I'd be there. I'd definitely be there. Let me see here. Ted Ferris says, it looked like Dave Stafford and Jim Guidry were recently doing some music collaborations recently. It was very cool. Yeah, they were. They were doing some very cool collabs, man. And they were. I think Jim was putting it out on his channel. And yeah, I was glad to see that because Jim Guidry, man, him and I used to do music years ago. Y'all, there's some of y'all that probably don't know what I'm talking about. But years ago, I'll tell you this story real quick. Years ago, there was this website called Make Tunes. I don't know if anybody remembers that or is familiar with it, but it was before anything like this. Okay, so Make Tunes was a site where you could collaborate with other musicians, and you could send audio files to each other and do whatever. You just send ideas back and forth or whatever. And I met Jim on that platform. God, that was so long ago. And he had a song. So you would make a profile, and you'd have an avatar up there, and everything was just audio. There was no video clips. None of that was around. Everything was just audio clips. And so people would make a profile and they would have songs up there you could click and play and listen to. And, it was a cool site. Some people would put stuff up there that had no business uploading anything. It was horrendous. And some people had stuff that was really, really good, really well produced. And I wasn't even in that ballpark yet. I was just starting to learn how to multi-track. And so I met Jim. I saw his profile, and the first thing I noticed, I liked his avatar. I think he had like a guitar with American flag on it or something, I think. And he had a track on there, and I listened to it, and it was really good. And it had where you can email that person, And what I like about this site, Make Tunes, back then, everything was free. You didn't have to pay for anything. If you wanted to email another musician, they didn't charge you for it. It was nothing like that. It was just, hey, y'all have at it and have a good time. It was really cool. And so I reached out to him, and we started to do music together, like what him and Stafford are doing now. But Jim and I did that first, as far as, me doing collaborations with anybody. I did that with him and vice versa. And it got to where Jim had an electronic drum kit, and then he upgraded to a better kit. And he started to send me tracks. Now, this was a long time ago, so the way I would download his audio files, I had a little, what was it, a Zoom? Like a multi-track, like a digital 8-track. And I actually would take an aux cable and come from the output, headphone output, into my multi-track, and I would hit play on the computer, and I'd record it on my multi-track. That's how I would get his files, because at the time, I didn't have an interface. I didn't have a DAW. I didn't have none of that stuff, man. So it was like the primitive way of getting files from somebody. And hey, Derek, hey, man, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Joe, you're awesome. Man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. You're too kind, man. Thank you for being here, man. Thank you. I appreciate your kindness. Thank you. Very nice. But so I would get the audio, Jim's drum track, that way, and then I would record it again. So I had to sync it up on the 8-track. I would play it on the computer again with an aux cable coming in to the multi-track, and I would record it where it was just barely, it wasn't in sync. It was just barely out. So it made his drums sound wider. I would split them left and right. I was doing all these weird little tricks that for other people, they're like, that's just been around for years. You're just now doing that? Well, for somebody like me that didn't know any better, it was pretty good. So Jim would send me a drum track like every weekend. And I would be in not this music room. I was on the other side of the house in a small ass other room. And I would sit there and I would actually make a song out of the drum track he sent me. And then at the end of the day, I would send Jim the completed track, and he would give me his input. And 90% of the time, he liked it, and we did that for quite a long time. And actually, I think we did 3 albums together. We did some singles and stuff like that. It was really good. And I looked forward every weekend to getting a track from him. And because it was exciting. I was actually jamming with somebody else he's in Louisiana. I'm in South Carolina. So I would really look forward to him sending me a track. And that was just a way to I could get my creative juices flowing. And it was like a challenge, I was like, okay. And I would tell him, I was like, man, when you send me a drum track, make sure you got some different fills in there, and then put a couple of rests in there, starts and stops, and then maybe just do the kick drum on certain parts. And so it sounds more like a human element. It don't sound like a drum machine. He's like, yeah, okay, cool. And he would do that. And I just wish I knew how to, for the setup I had then, for what I had then, I wish I knew how to do a little bit better production. There's a few songs that sound pretty good for what what I was using back then. Sound pretty good. And I'm very proud of those songs, man. That's just a timestamp in my life. It was really, really, really fun. And Jim's a great dude, and he's an incredible musician, man. I'm just, he'll send me things that he's done. Even now, he'll send me things, and I'm like, dude, you need to do something with this. Y'all don't know the stuff that he does. He sends it to me. I don't know why he doesn't post it on his channel or he doesn't do something with it, but it's incredible because he can write a riff, or he does a whole song. He likes to tune down on a lot of things, and he uses this right here. He told me about it. Y'all know what this is? Beat Buddy drum pedal. He uses that a lot. Now the memory card I have is just the standard memory card. Well, Jim has got another memory card that he got from this company that has the drum beats to different songs on here, and he'll slow them down and change the tempo so he makes that track his own, and he starts creating. But actually, Jim and I did that for quite a while, and then we ended up getting an interview on satellite radio, believe it or not, and I was able to, I got in touch with, there was a show on satellite radio that was, I can't remember the channel, and they actually were interested in our music, and they wanted to use our music as bumper music. You know, if you don't know what that is, that's like when the show was on the podcast and they go to a commercial, they would use our music while they were talking about a product or something like, hey, new from Nabisco, I don't know, whatever. I'm just making something up. And they would use our music for that. And then we got and like I said, we got an interview one time on that. So it was cool. It was a long time ago. And so Jim and I have known each other for almost 20 years. And then speaking of just things progressing, that's just the way life is. You progress as a musician, as if you're creative, right? If you're a creative person, you're not going to stay in the same kind of, I don't want to say rut, that's not right, but you're trying to reach for something different. So Jim and we did that for a while, and then his drum tracks I started to receive them further and further apart. Instead of every weekend, it might be twice a month. Then it was like once a month, which that's fine, And then Jim, I remember at one time, Jim, he got injured and he couldn't play. He got hurt really bad. So he was on the bench for a long time, so to speak. So, and then I bought the Beat Buddy drum pedal and I started doing stuff. And I started kind of doing a lot of my own thing. I wrote some songs. I attempted to sing on some of those songs, not all of them, just a few, because I'm not a really good singer. I only have a certain range. I don't know about now. It probably sounds like really horrible now, but back then I could kind of get away with a certain range, and which was very limited. And but I just want to see if I could write a song. That's why I was writing my own stuff. I would write the lyrics, I'd write everything. And there was a few songs that Jim and I did where I did sing on them. But I just want to see if I could do it. And I could, and there were some times where it just didn't work. It didn't come together, but there were some times where it worked really well. And it made me feel good because I am a creative person. I think all of us here are. And when you set out to do something and you can do that, it's a very satisfying feeling, But it was cool. So that's kind of the backstory of Jim and myself, and it was a lot of fun. I miss those days, but thank goodness I still have that music that I can listen to anytime that we did, and when I listen to those songs, it takes me right back to when we would do that, But yeah, we were doing that for a while, man, and it was. I mean, we were popping out songs like crazy, and I think we both experienced a little bit of a burnout after doing that stuff for a few years, and that's normal. So I think it's the same kind of scenario with doing shows like this. When you have a group of people, it's only going to last for so long. It's just, and that's normal, and I totally understand it. I get it. I totally get it. Let's see here. Ted Fair says, I have a really cool story that involves a couple of friends showing up in an event with Joe Bonamassa, Norm's Rare Guitars, and blowing them away with inexpensive guitars compared to vintage gear. Nice. I'd like to hear that story. That'd be cool. Rod says, I can't sing and play. I can't neither. That was the beauty of recording that music. I would get all my guitar parts down, and then of course the bass and all that, and the keyboard. I used to do a lot of keyboard stuff, and then I got really keyboard happy for a while there. It's like, damn. But it was fun. It added more color to the song. I felt it did. And then I would always do the vocals last, because I'd sit there and I'd start scatting along and try to, I'd write down something, and I always make sure that it rhymed. I can't stand listening to a song that don't rhyme. That to me is such a huge turnoff. I mean, I don't mean rap. I don't listen to rap, but I mean just like a regular rock song that doesn't rhyme. And I was like, damn. Let's see here. Dave Morgan says, I sound like a dying cat singing. Yeah. I haven't tried singing in a long time. What messed me up was smoking. I smoked back then I was smoking, and I could still kind of get away a little bit to make it work, and then it got to where it just wasn't working no more, and my voice was shot. And I quit smoking, and I tried to do it, and it wouldn't work. And speaking of tuning down, to be fair, when we were doing these originals, and if I performed vocals on them, I did have the guitars tuned down a whole step. I did. That was the only way I could get it to work. I couldn't sing in standard. I just couldn't do it. So if I tuned down a whole step, I was like, oh, okay, it helped. But that was a long time ago. If I tried singing now, I'd probably break the window or something, you know. The Dompa says that I write the songs that make the whole world cringe. I mean, you know, look, I'm not a great singer at all. I mean, I was able to get away with just what we were doing for those originals, and it worked. But as far as covering other people's songs, there's no way. I've always looked at a great singer or somebody that could sing as a very huge talent. I wish I could just pick up an acoustic and sing and play like that, because that is amazing. I wish I could do that. I just never could. Hey, Mickey, how you doing, man? How are you doing, sir? Thank you for being here, man. Howdy, howdy, he says. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Ron says, I'll be here as long as you are. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a kind comment. Thank you, man. Yeah, with this channel, I've been doing YouTube a long time, man. A long time, but and I never really set out to, like, I mean, it'd be nice to have a great channel that would explode and all that, but that just never happened for me. It just never happened, and that's fine. I would just get on here and play music and try to play some songs live. This is the only avenue I have to do that, because I can't, you know, as y'all know, for the new people that don't know, I used to be in bands and all that years ago, and then things change. Just like I said, things change, and I had to start working more hours and to make more money to you know, hospital bills and stuff. I mean, things happen, so you have to change your priorities around. And But that's okay. As long as I can still play, I mean, I'm fine. And the way things are nowadays, this right here is it's the most convenient way to get your music, not my music, just music. These are cover songs, but to get your guitar playing out to an audience. And even though it's a small audience, I am very humbled that there's even an audience here. So that's, I'm very humbled with that and very happy. And I've just always loved making content, you know, but going live is my favorite thing to do. And I know I only do it once a week, but this is the only time I can do it, you know, and we got family coming in to town again next weekend. Is it next weekend? Let's see, because Easter is right around the corner, man. So let's see. It is, yeah. Today's the 12th. And let's see here. And just to show that this is live, it's 11:09 Saturday evening on Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, it's the 12th. So a week from tomorrow will be Easter, because it's on my father's birthday, April 20th. That's my dad's birthday. But he passed away in 2020. One of the worst times that people could be going through things that were, and people in the hospital or dealing with anything was in 2020. That was just, not just for me, but I know for hundreds and thousands of other people in that situation. That was just, God, that was a nightmare. Let's see. Dave Workin says, Jim Gillette of the band Nitro could break glass with his high notes. I remember that. Who was it? Is that the same dude? I could have this wrong. Is that the guy that was married to Lita Ford for a while? Because I know she was married to a singer, and I don't know if that was him. I want to say it was, but I can't remember. Let's see. Rod says, I'm going to promote you. Oh, dude, you don't. I appreciate that, man. You don't have to do that. That's just, it's YouTube. The world of YouTube is strange, man. If you're not in the algorithm, you're just kind of lost at sea. And there's a lot of things that have to do with that, and a lot, I think, really is just pure luck. You know, I think that I think it comes down to the old saying that it takes money to make money. That's what I think. If you have money to get a nice studio and you got nice equipment and you know how to edit, you might have to have a few people on your staff to help you do things, because doing it by yourself is practically impossible. I'm not saying it can't be done, but if you're able to start off with some nice equipment and you don't have a full-time job, you got some money you can live on till you see if your channel will take off, and you're able to make good thumbnails and great content. Editing is a big thing. If you're doing pre-recorded videos, editing is huge. And doing thumbnails is something I was late in the game to, learning how to do thumbnails. There's an app I use for all the thumbnails I make. It's called Canva, Canva. And there's an app. You download Canva, and it's a monthly based subscription thing, but I think it's like, I don't know, $12 a month or something. And but that's what I use to make my thumbnail. But yeah, that's what I use. And you can get creative with that stuff, but I see a lot of thumbnails nowadays that look like they're AI generated, and I have no idea how to do that. But your thumbnail is going to be the first thing somebody sees when they are looking through their feed, their YouTube feed. And if you don't have a thumbnail, you don't have to, but if you have a kind of an interesting thumbnail, it's going to more than likely entice the viewer to click and watch your video. And then hashtags and stuff like that. And I try to have a good description. And with my job being the way it is, there's some of that stuff I've been hindered, You know, I try to do it, and there's just sometimes I just can't. But yeah, okay, so that was Lita Ford was married to Jim Gillette. Okay, that was him. Yeah, it was the same guy. What? Apparently he was I have no idea. I can't say one way or the other. I have no idea. Have y'all seen what she looks like now? I don't mean to laugh. I guess, I don't know. What is she, man? How old is she now? She's probably, what, maybe close to 70, I think. I'm guessing. But she's still out playing, too. Lita Ford, she's still playing, man, and doing shows. But I remember in the mid-'80s, man. Man. That Kiss Me Deadly video, remember that? I was like, oh my God. And for the longest time, I didn't know that I was just out of the loop, you know, but for the longest time, I didn't know she was in the Runaways. I didn't know what the Runaways were until that movie came out, you know, The Runaways. I think it came out, I don't know, 5 years ago or something, and it was okay. It was all right, you know. But yeah, I bet Lita Ford's got some stories she could tell, man. Because she tells a story of how her and Eddie Van Halen were hanging out one night, but she doesn't go into too much detail. And I'm thinking, yeah, I think was she running with the devil that night or something? I mean, I think something went on. I don't know, but who knows? But in her day, she was very attractive. Michael Curtis, hey man, what's going on? He's back. All right. Michael Curtis says, I jumped back on here right before you mentioned Canva. I wondered how you did your thumbnails. Yeah. I do, I use Canva. Yeah, I use Canva. I sure do. And it's very convenient because they have certain like backgrounds you can use, but if you want to put yourself in front of a background, I tell you what you do. So, and what I always do is I set my phone up. I got a tripod right here. As a matter of fact, I bought this from Amazon years ago, and it extends out. You know, I think it goes up to like 4 foot or something. It's got 3 legs on it. I'll put my phone right there, and I got it sitting up. Usually I'll set it on top of this chair because that's the only way I can get some decent height out of it. But I'll set my phone up and set my camera up, and I'll put a timer on it, like 5 seconds, and I'll pose and hold my guitar or whatever. And then I take that picture, and they want you to crop it where it's just you. You try to crop as much as you can out, and you put it on that background of Canva, and they have a thing called BG Remover, which stands for Background Remover. So if you put your picture on that top of that of their image, you hit Background Remover, and then all the stuff around you will be removed and be just you. So that's a cool trick, you know, and you can get really creative with that kind of thing, because I just look at other people's thumbnails. I'm like, how they do that, you know? And after a while, you start to kind of understand what they're doing. And it's all about, I'm telling you, man, doing stuff on here. You got to be creative, man, to even have people look at your stuff. Because if not, it's just going to bomb. Talking about Lita Ford, how old is she? She's 66. That's all. I thought she was. I thought she was in her 70s because I'm not trying to be rude, but she looks it. You know, looks like she was. I don't want to be rude. It looks like she. I think those years of partying has caught up with her. You know, if just to put it like that. Ted Fair comments. He says, I always thought Stevie Nicks was smoking hot in the 70s, 80s. Absolutely. Yes. I remember, golly, I was in elementary school. And this will come full circle here in just a second. I was in elementary school. My mom took me to there was like a strip mall that we went to, and it had this old store back in the day called Richways. I never seen another Richways in my life, but that's what it was called. And this was back when, you know, my mom would go into the store, and across the hall from Richways, there was this long corridor, this long hall, and you had stores down that hall. And across from the entrance of Richways was a record store. Yeah, back when those were a thing. And I told my mom, I said, I'm gonna go in here for a minute. She's like, all right, when you get done, you come in here and find me. I said, okay. So I walked in there, and I didn't know nothing about music. I was in like maybe, I don't know, 5th or 6th grade. I didn't know my history of music. You know, I was just a kid. It would go in one ear and out the other. So I walked in and I looked, and the record stores back then, man. So this is like maybe 81, 1980, something like that. So record stores back then were freaking awesome, man. They had posters all over the wall. They had, you know, the music pumping through the sound system, and they had the leather stuff like Judas Priest. They had I remember all that stuff was always on display you could buy, and they had all the cool shirts and headbands, and it was just a different time. But I remember looking up on the wall, and there was this huge poster. As soon as you walked in, it was on the other side, but it was huge. And it was this woman in this like black silk, almost not like a 90 or something, but it was just, it wasn't too revealing, but enough. And I was just a kid, and I looked at that poster, and I thought, holy shit, who was that? You know, and come to find out it was Stevie Nicks. So I told you that to tell you this. So I sit there, and for some reason, it was a couple of weeks ago, I was like, how old is Stevie Nicks? And I Googled her name, and I thought, oh my God, she's the same age as my mother. And it was but she don't look, you know, she doesn't seem that way, not to me, but yeah, she was always a very beautiful woman. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. Dave Workin says, my wife loves the Runaways. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't know that was their group for years. I didn't know Joan Jett, Lita Ford, and the other young ladies. I didn't know that for the longest time. When somebody said Runaway, I thought about Bon Jovi. I was like, you talking about that song from Bon? They was like, no. I was like, okay. Let's see here. I get to these other comments here. Yes, Greasy Mikey Guitar says, yeah, it was Jim Gillette that was married to Lita Ford. Because I heard he did a phone interview with somebody one time, and because I think Lita Ford, I think she put out a book. I can't be 100% sure, and I think she threw him under the bus in that book, I think. If it wasn't a book, then it was an interview she did. It was one of those. It might have been an interview she did, and she threw his ass under the bus, and he got on the next time I can't remember what show it was, and then they got him on, and he said, nah, man, Lita's crazy. He said, I didn't do none of that stuff. She's a Looney Tunes. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I heard him say. So, yeah, rode hard and put up wet. Yeah, man. I think so. I remember when I first heard that, I was like, whoa. Yeah. She looks kind of rough now, but you know, hey, man, being a rock and roller for many years, being on the road will wear you out. Doing show after show and doing radio interviews, you know, especially back in the day when that stuff was a thing. But hey, man, she's still playing, she's still performing, she's doing what she loves. So, and people go to see her. You know, so more power to her, man. Let's see. The Dogpa says that I met Stevie a couple of times. A friend used to tour and sing with her. She was friendly and used to party hard. I'm sure they all did back then. Yeah, I'm sure they all did when they had a little bit more youth on their side, you know? Oh, yeah. And let's see, the Dolphin says, oops, that was the wrong one. I just showed that. Sorry. Oh, Lita Ford. If it ain't the age, it's the mileage. Well, that's for anybody in that business. I would imagine. I've daydreamed about being a musician on the road when I was younger. I daydreamed about that's what I wanted to do. But you got to be in the right location. First of all, you got to know how to play. You got to know your shit. Pardon my French. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know how to possibly read music. You don't have to, but that really would help. And then location. And then you have to, it's like my dad always said, it's not necessarily what you know, it's who you know. So you got to have some connections. And where I lived at in the Carolinas, and even now, I don't have any connections, man. And plus, I'm too old for that now. But when I was younger, I always thought, man, I'd love to be on the road and do that. Yeah, it might be fun for a little while, but I think you get burned out on that after some time went by. We were talking about Lita Ford hanging out with Eddie Van Halen. She told a story about that one time, and Greasy Monkey Guitar says she gave EVH her pound cake. Oh, God. Hey, probably did. I remember I have, I think I got Ann Wilson's audiobook, the singer from Heart. Either that or, was it that or her sister, Nancy? I don't know. It was one of them. And so I was listening to some of that a few years ago, and they say in that book, when they met the Van Halen brothers, the brothers came to one of their shows or something, and they were, so the Van Halen, Eddie and Alex are talking to Ann and Nancy, right? Whether they're backstage or I think they might have been in a hotel or something. And she said this in the book, said that, this is what it said in the book, man. The brothers wanted to sleep with the sisters, and the brothers wanted everybody to be in the same bed. And the sisters were like, no, we're not doing that. And told them, they said, no, thanks for coming by, but no. And I was like, holy crap. That's what they said in the book. I never heard that story before. I was like, good God. But again, everybody was younger, and I'm sure having, hallucinogens in your body, doing things that you would normally not do. It was crazy, man. There's some pretty wild stories you pick up in some of these audiobooks, man. And they were a great group. Heart, they were great. And it also said in that book that before they got signed, they were a killer bar band, and people knew them for doing a lot of Led Zeppelin tunes because Ann could sing them. She could belt them out like it was nothing, and it really attracted an audience, of course. And I remember on that, what was that Kennedy Center Honors years ago where they did the Stairway to Heaven, and it was incredible. I know y'all had to have seen that. It was all over YouTube and everything. It was incredible. And Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, and God, what's his name? The bass player. I'm drawing a blank. They were up there sitting, and they performed for them, and it was amazing. John Paul Jones. That was, man. I actually looked up one of them Led Zeppelin songs the other night, how to play the Lemon song, because I was like, he's doing something with he's playing something with an open string and going up to low E, and I was looking, I was like, oh yeah, that's what he's doing. And there's a lot going on in that song. I was like, damn. Mickey says that Kennedy Center Honors with Heart was good. Yeah, that was good. That was amazing. It was incredible. Can you imagine being in that band on that night? You better know your parts, man. Oh, damn. But yeah, it was good, man. I've tried messing with that Stairway to Heaven solo years ago, a long time ago. I need to maybe try it again. I don't know. That's one of those songs that's you've heard so many times. Oh my God. There's some songs I just don't want to hear no more. Like I said, some Bon Jovi songs I don't want to hear no more. And there's, of course, there's some Zeppelin songs I just don't want to hear no more. Because I've either played them so many times and plus heard them so many times as well. And I was like, oh my God. If I never hear those songs again, I'll be fine, you know. But I'm sure it's like that for everybody, you know. Just hear some stuff over and over. And then when you play in a band, like I see some people doing live music on YouTube. I don't search it out a lot, but sometimes it pops up in my feed. And the person, the musician, they never change up their set list. Never change it up. It's the same songs, and it's in the same order every time. I'm like, dude, you got to swap. You got to move things around. I know you're playing at a different place, but your YouTube audience is still pretty much the same, and they know what you play, so you need to kind of switch it up. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that's what you have to do, but if you kind of move things around and swap songs out from time to time, I think it keeps the interest peaked. You know, if you don't, it's just going to get so stale. You know, it's like eating the same thing every day. It's like, you don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to have, I mean, I love steak. I don't want to have a steak every day. I love pizza. I don't have a pizza every day. You know, I remember one time, this was a long time ago. I was by myself for about a week. In my first marriage, they were gone. They went out of town, so I was just by myself. And I happened to take vacation that week, so I just had the house to myself. And I wanted Chinese food because nobody else wanted it. And I was there, and I said, "I'm gonna get me some Chinese food." I went to the Chinese restaurant 3 days in a row and got the buffet and all that. And I was like, "Yeah, nobody can't say they don't want to come here because I'm the only one here. I'm going." I drove down there, and I had that 3 days in a row. And after that third time, I didn't have Chinese for a long time. I mean, I got burnt out. It was a long time before I had Chinese again. A long time. Let's see here. Let's see. Dogpa says, the late 70s, early 80s, I could play good enough, and I knew all the people. Couldn't take the life. Hated when tattoos and girls and clothes became a thing. I had a fiance and a job. Walked away. Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody. That's why when I thought about it when I was younger, you know, you look back on things in life, and my mom always said, you know, things happen for a reason. And don't be fooled. A lot of those people that are in that industry, it might look all glitz and glamour, but some of it might be, but I bet a lot of it isn't. I bet they're lonely as hell. You know, you're around the same people all the time. Your group, your band members, or whatever, and after a while, you get tired of each other, and you can't have a life. You're always on the road, and it's just you know, it's a fantasy that I've thought about, but I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that. Oh man, Mr. Ted Fair, he chimes in. He says, "I was eating in a restaurant last night and was surprised to hear them play Just Like Paradise by David Lee Roth." There was a band there and they played that, or they just played it over the sound system, the original song. I'm assuming that it was just the song, right? Let's see. The Dobby says backstage at the Whiskey used to be for warming up, tuning. Then it became for doing makeup and getting dressed up. I couldn't take it. I've never been there. Some of those places I wish I could see now, but I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's people have their own box. People have their own way of. There's a lot of people that are vegans now. I'm just never. Yeah, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I've always been a meat eater, man. I love steak. We don't have it all the time. Like tonight, we had pork chops. My wife made. She made like this casserole. She had pork chops, grilled pork chops, with scalloped potatoes in a casserole dish, and put it in the oven for a while, and it was delicious, man. Got it out, put it on my plate, put a little A1 on the pork chop, man. They were so tender, they were delicious. I couldn't imagine being a vegetarian. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying for me, I couldn't. I like that. Oh, it was a band, Ted said. Oh, okay. They are from here. What's that? Let's see. I will. Vegan is dangerous. It is wrong, the dog says. Oh, Hart is from where you're at. Oh. The dog says, just remember, there's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. Yeah, I'm not here to tell people how to do their diet, but man, I mean, what did we have last night? There's this place up the road. It hadn't been there long. It's called the Philly Grill. They have like Philly cheesesteaks. They got burgers. They got foot-long hot dogs. They got gyros. Man, they got all kind of stuff. And my wife and I've gotten food to go from there for 5 Fridays in a row. And that's like our little treat. You know, when Friday gets here, it's I'll order it on my phone and I'll go pick it up. Because they have something DoorDashed out here, they want like an extra $15 plus a tip, and I'm not doing that. I'll just go get in my truck and go pick it up. Nothing against people that DoorDash. I'm not saying nothing bad about that, but I'm not paying an extra $20 to have something brought out here, and that includes a tip and all that. And I'm like, that's ridiculous, man. We had, just to segue into this, I guess it's part of the free-for-all discussion. My wife tried Walmart delivery for the first time yesterday, and it was a nightmare. She ordered $192 worth of groceries and items. And it took 3 different people, 3 different trips to bring everything out here. None of them spoke English. The one girl that backed out of our driveway hit our damn mailbox, about tore it off the post. My wife tried to run her down. She sped off. And it's ridiculous. So I told her, I said, from now on, just give me the list of what you want. I'll go pick it up. I said that we're not going to do that Walmart delivery no more. That's a joke. And they want a tip also. Are you crazy? No, not doing that. You know, so it's crazy, man. Steak. I love steak. Yes. I love a good steak, man. I just what I like. The dog says, I love pizza and sugar and beer and bud, but you cannot pay me ever to touch any of it again. I will not eat in a restaurant about organic, grass-fed, and cook it with my own hands. I heard that's really delicious too. And I just, there's just certain things I like to cook. I love to cook hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill, and sometimes I'll cook a steak, and sometimes we'll make pizza in the oven, and stuff like that. Let's see here. Ted Fair makes a comment. He says, "Hey Joe, is the band, does that say Corrosion of conformity a big deal in the Carolinas? I hear they are from Raleigh. I don't know, Ted. I couldn't say, man. I'm sorry that I can't answer your question. That sounds like some heavier music, and to be totally honest, I haven't listened to any recent kind of music in forever, man. I got my own little stuff I listen to, and it ain't nothing like that, you know. But I don't know. Raleigh from here is a pretty good hike, man. It's oh man. Probably from my driveway to get to Raleigh, probably about, man, I'd say knocking on the door 4 hours, I would say. I guess. Let's see here. Dave Organ says these places want a tip when you pick up your own food. Man, don't get me started on that. Oh my God almighty. Yeah, this place here that I was just talking about, the food is delicious, man. That's why we went there the past 5 Fridays in a row. It's a little pricey, but the food is, as they say, off the chain. It's really good. But when I order on my phone, it says, when you go to the bottom, it says custom tip, 15%, 10, 5, or no tip. I always hit no tip because I'm going there to pick it up. I'm going there to get my food. I'm not going there to sit down and somebody brings me food or have to bring me a drink or clean up after me. I'm getting it and I'm leaving. So no, I don't tip on that. That's just me. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't tip. I'm not saying nothing bad against tipping. If I go to sit down in a restaurant and I'm being served, yes, I will absolutely leave a tip. But if I'm getting something to go and they have you sign that little, that's why I like doing it on the phone. Because when I get there, I don't have to sign a receipt. Because there's a pizza place up here that you call it in. They haven't called up to the ordering online thing yet. You have to call it in there. And you go to the little drive-thru and they say, what's your name? You tell them, they say, oh, you ordered this and this and this. Yes. And they give you the receipt. And every time it's got the total and it's got a tip. And both lines are blank. So I just go, I put a line through what says tip and I put the total. If it's $46.50, that's what I put. And I sign it. And it's funny when I give it back to the young lady, every time they go, oh, they're disappointed. I'm like, I'm picking my food up, y'all. I'm not eating in the restaurant. I'm picking it up. So I can't be the only one that's on that frame of mind, right? Let's see. Yummy on the pork chops. Yeah, pork chops, they were delicious. Yeah, they were good. Let's see. Ted says, if you guys like steak, you probably love bison meat, free range from Montana and Colorado. Huh. Interesting, man. Very interesting. But yeah, I don't, these places that, bring your food, this DoorDash and stuff. Again, I'm not putting it down. I don't know, man. People, what they want, you buy your food and let's just say you order something and it's like $15 and you have it DoorDashed out here. I don't know about anywhere else, but out here, and they add like another $15, then they want a tip. And I'm like, dude, I'm not paying $30 for a cheeseburger combo. And that's just, but, it's just how it is around here. I said, I'm not doing that, man. I'll go pick it up. As long as I can drive and I can move around and I don't have nothing wrong with my body, I'll go pick it up. I'm not going to do that. No way. No way. That's just, but there's people that'll pay it. There's people that'll pay it, man. My grandson, he's 19, and I was talking to him about this last week. Was it last weekend or weekend before? He wanted a milkshake, all right? And he can't drive. So he must have wanted a milkshake pretty damn bad. So he door dashed a milkshake out to where he was living. And it ended up being like $15 for a milkshake. I said, dude, have you heard of ice cream and a gallon of milk? You can make them all day long, and then you don't spend near that money. But some of these millennials, man, they'll pay whatever just so they don't have to mess with it. And that's what I've noticed anyway. So yeah, it's something else. My goodness, we've been over for over 3 hours, 3 hours and 14 minutes. Wow. Wow. Well, y'all, we made it through another show, and I appreciate it very much. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And thank you for sticking around this long. And hey, don't forget to play some music, man. Have a good time. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for being so kind and checking out the Tank G. Don't forget to look into that if you're interested in that effects processor. $79 on Amazon is where I got it. You would be very, very happy, I feel, So thank y'all very much. I appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I got to go back to work tomorrow. So until next time, take care. God bless. Be kind to each other. See you later. Bye-bye.